Welcome to our channel today. We bring you the top 10 books Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos read that motivated them to succeed. Before we continue, please press the subscribe button and the bell notification icon to receive regular updates whenever we upload a video. Billionaire businessmen like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have long valued books. Several books have affected how the two see the world, from their attitude to technical innovation to how they run their enterprises, and the duo have sung their praises of them throughout the years. Here are some novels that Bezos and Musk have praised and believe everyone should read. Number 10 is Built to Last by Jim Collins and Jerry I. Porras. In a word, the book explains why certain organizations can survive and thrive in difficult conditions through generations, while others are unable. Built to Last identifies the characteristics that differentiate visionary companies. A visionary organization exists for a specific reason. Though other aspects contribute to a successful company, such as timeliness, a strong system, and tenacity, it's the correct purpose that sets them apart. For example, Merrick created Mectizin to treat river blindness. Even though they didn't get much help, they didn't abandon their original goal of giving medical treatment when it was needed. Instead, they delivered millions of doses of Mectizin, achieving their goal despite the lack of profit. Another characteristic of a strong firm is that it adheres to 2 or 3 fundamental beliefs or values. IBM, for example, was unable to adhere to its basic values, resulting in their subsequent underperformance. Experimentation is another crucial signal. Visionary firms make some of their finest moves via trial and error, opportunism, and quite literally, accident. It has been discovered that forward-thinking businesses seize every opportunity to experiment and attempt something new. We're all familiar with how this works at the electronics behemoth, which is famed for experimenting with new technology and encouraging a culture of innovation. The same can be said of 3M, a business that is willing to try new things as long as they adhere to its fundamental concept, which states that it must be a novel idea that solves a human need. Number 9 is Creation by Steve Grand. Steve Grand created Creatures, a revolutionary computer game that allowed players to create living beings complete with brains, genes, and hormonal systems. Creatures that would live, breathe, and breed in real time on an ordinary desktop computer. He worked mostly alone, almost single-handedly writing 250,000 lines of computer code. The game's enormous success unavoidably begs the issue: what is artificial life? And in this book, Steve Grand provides a solution for the ardent admirer and the just curious spectator to experience the world through the eyes of an innovative philosopher-engineer and intellectual maverick. Creation explores the practical, social, and ethical consequences of state-of-the-art, from constructing artificial living forms, minds, and bodies to the philosophical rules and computational frameworks that define them. But, more importantly, the book gives readers access to the insights Grand gained while writing Creatures, insights that result in a worldview that is surprisingly anti-reductionist, anti-materialist, and, to a degree, anti-machinist. A worldview that sees matter, life, mind, and society as simply different levels of the same thing. According to Grand, such a hierarchy can be reflected by an analogous hierarchy within a parallel world known as cyber. Number 8 is The Innovators Dilemma by Clayton Christensen. The Innovators Dilemma is part of the most important, if not the most important book on how innovation happens and why market leaders and incumbents often fail to capitalize on the next wave of innovation in their industries. The book is so amazing that even after reading it several times, I still learn something new. In my perspective, the essential excerpt illustrates the heart of the Innovators Dilemma. The reason great firms fail is because good management was the underlying cause in the first place. Managers followed the rules and played the game the way it should be played, listening to customers, carefully tracking competitors' actions, and investing resources to design and build higher performance, higher quality products that will yield greater profits are the very decision-making and resource allocation processes that established companies reject disruptive technologies. When confronted with disruptive technology change, these are the reasons why great companies slip or fail. Successful businesses want their resources to be concentrated on activities that meet the requirements of their consumers, promise better earnings, are technologically viable, and allow them to compete in large markets. Such expectations entail overcoming certain underlying inclinations about how successful companies operate and how they should be managed. Number 7 is Sam Walton Made in America by Sam Walton. Wise and inspiring autobiography, Walton tells his quietly fantastic story with conviction and makes no bones about his mistakes. San Francisco Chronicle, it's a story about entrepreneurship, risk, hard work, knowing where you want to go, and being willing to do whatever it takes to get there. It's also a story about sticking to your guns and believing in your concept even though others may not. Sam Walton is an American businessman. Meet Sam Walton, a true American folk hero who transformed a small dime store in a hardscrabble cotton town into Walmart, the world's largest retailer. Sam, the uncontested late 20th century commercial king, never lost touch with the average man. Finally, in his own distinctive words, Sam Walton shares his amazing story. Sam expresses his thoughts in a straightforward, straight-from-the-shoulder approach, genuinely modest yet always confident in his ambitions and successes. Sam Walton recalls the inspiration, passion, and optimism that pushed him to lasso the American dream in a narrative filled with anecdotes and the rules of the road of Main Street and Wall Street. Here is an incredible success story of a man whose empire was established with good old-fashioned elbow grease, not smoke and mirrors. Detroit Free Press is a publication based in Detroit, Michigan. Number 6 is Structures by J.E. Gordon. J.E. Gordon's book, which Business Insider named one of the 14 books that inspired Elon Musk, strips engineering of its jargon and communicates its fundamental concepts in clear, humorous writing. This book will calm your nerves and answer your concerns about why suspension bridges don't collapse under 8 lanes of traffic, how dams hold back or give way under thousands of gallons of water, and what principles drive the construction of a skyscraper, a bias-cut garment, or a kangaroo. Structures, or Why Objects Don't Fall, is a non-technical explanation of the fundamental forces that keep the commonplace and important things of this world together, from buildings and bodies to flying airplanes and eggshells. Gordon includes chapters like How to Design a Worm and The Advantage of Being a Being, giving amusing insight on human and natural creation in a manner that blends humor, a great grasp of his topic, and a comprehensive breadth of references. The simple and compelling explanations of the principles of stress, shear, torsion, fracture, and compression will be appreciated by architects and engineers. Here is a helpful tool for understanding the mechanics of journey, flooring, ceilings, poles, masts, or flying buttresses if you're building a home, a sailboat, or a catapult. Structures explain the wonders of technology without jargon or oversimplification for anybody interested in the underpinnings of our daily life. Number 5 is Benjamin Franklin, An American Life by Walter Isaacson. Benjamin Franklin, who appears to be formed of flesh rather than marble, is the founding father who winks at us. He delves into the wit and wisdom of Poor Richard's Almanac, the Declaration of Independence, the new nation's partnership with France, the Treaty of Paris, and the compromises that resulted in a near-perfect constitution. Franklin's remarkable life is chronicled in this vivid and personal story by Isaacson, who shows how he contributed to the formation of American national identity and why he has a special resonance in the 21st century. Number 4 is Einstein, His Life and Universe by Walter Isaacson. How did his mind work? What made him a genius? Isaacson's biography demonstrates how his scientific imagination grew out of his rebellious attitude. His intriguing journey exemplifies the link between creativity and liberty. His success stemmed from his willingness to challenge conventional knowledge and marvel at secrets that others dismissed as trivial. As a result, he believed in morality and politics founded on respect for free minds, free spirits, and free people. These qualities are just as important in this new century of globalization, when our success will be determined by our inventiveness, as they were at the turn of the previous century when Einstein helped usher in the modern era. Number 3 is Superintelligence by Nick Bostrom. Last year, a strange nonfiction book by the philosopher Nick Bostrom, a post at Oxford, became a New York Times bestseller, A Complex Mediation on Artificial Intelligence. The paper, titled Superintelligence: Paths, Dangers, and Strategies, contends that true artificial intelligence, if realized, could pose a threat greater than any previous technological threat, including nuclear weapons, and that if its development is not carefully managed, humanity risks engineering its extinction. The possibility of an intelligence explosion, a hypothetical occurrence in which an AI gains the capacity to develop itself and quickly outperforms the human brain's intellectual capability by several orders of magnitude. Such a system would constitute a new sort of life, and Bostrom's worries are evolutionary, that humanity would be suddenly outmatched by a smarter rival. Number 2 is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel and Blake Masters. The importance of real innovation made available to the public through startups is the subject of 0 to 1. It explains why technology overcomes globalization, why we should encourage monopolies instead of healthy competition, why successful inventors have a definite optimist mindset, and why no one needs to be frightened of losing their job to a robot. 0 to 1 also provides unique business insights, such as the 4 most essential aspects of your product to pay attention to. Hint, they're not quantitative. And the 7 questions that every company must answer for itself. The basic concept of 0 to 1 is that initiatives that move from 0 to 1 rather from 1 to N produce societal good and monetary profit. Going from 1 to N suggests that you are only incrementally improving or bringing an existing technology to new markets. Businesses that can discover an unmet need globally and provide a solution using new technology to meet it are more valued. These businesses are deserving of every penny they receive. We also don't have to be concerned about so-called monopolies. They provide genuine value to customers and are constantly challenged by new businesses that improve on them. Number 1 is Memos from the Chairman by Alan Greenberg. Memos from the Chairman is a compilation of memos made by Alan Ace Greenberg, Bear Stearns CEO from 1978 to 1993, and subsequently chairman from 1985 to 2001. Greenberg's memos were a little odd. He frequently used axioms from Heimskell, Malintz, and Aniakel, a half-Jewish, half-Eskimo business professor invented by Greenberg to illustrate his ideas. You'll notice Greenberg's repetition as you read the book. In several memos, he frequently repeats the same arguments. But I believe that is precisely the goal. A CEO's job is to control the company's culture, Jeff Bezos once remarked, and I quote, Greenberg's role as CEO isn't to oversee his partners and associates' day-to-day operations. After all, they are probably better at those jobs than he is. Thanks for viewing this video. Comment down below which part do you like the most, or click on the thumbs up button if you like the video.